What's up guys, in this video I'm going to show you a strategy that I have personally been using lately, and I'm not gonna lie, I have been having some pretty good results with this particular strategy. And it's a strategy I have seen on YouTube before, and naturally I did tweak the strategy quite a bit, use some different settings, some different safety measures to stop some fake out trades, and now this strategy is working extremely well. And it doesn't matter if you trade stocks, forex or crypto, this strategy will work. But always backtest any strategies that you want to try out with real money, just in case the asset that you want to trade behaves differently. My asset of choice is Ethereum, and I'm going to be showing you how to use this strategy on 1 minute time frame. And I'm using 1 minute time frame for one very important reason. It's very easy to spot momentum in lower time frames. Okay, first let's set up some indicators that we're going to need for this strategy. So let's go to indicators tab right here. First let's add EMA. Then go to EMA settings, change the length to 50. And we will be using EMA to verify the signals that the indicator will be throwing at us. The next indicator that we're going to need is called trend lines with breaks. And just add this indicator by Lux Algo. Then go to settings, change the length to 25, slope to 1.6, and slope calculation method to ATR. Then click OK. And the last indicator that we're going to need is called stochastic RSI. Just open up indicators, type in stochastic, and choose this indicator right here, and leave the values default for this indicator. And we need stochastic RSI to verify entries for our trade. So now let's briefly go over how this strategy works. As you'll see, trend lines with break indicators will print these buy and sell signals on the chart. The red B symbol is for shorting or selling, while green buy signal is for buying. And this indicator gets printed out on the chart once the price action breaks through these trend lines, which are also drawn by this indicator. So real time, this buy signal would be printed out on the chart when this candle right here closes. So we could only enter a trade right here 2 candlesticks later. But before we open a long trade, we need to verify that this is a legitimate signal. To do that, we're going to use stochastic RSI. So now, in order to find out if we should enter this trade or not, what we need to do is count back 3 candles from this buy signal, 1, 2, 3, and see where stochastic RSI was at this point. And we can see that stochastic RSI was in the oversold territory. So this gives us green light to enter trade. So let's open a long position right on this candle, setting our stop loss at previous swing low like this, and we want to aim for risk reward ratio of 2.5. that is about right here. And of course, easily this would have been a winning trade, but you don't have to be professional to place winning trades on already printed out chart, right? So later in this video we will actually backtest this strategy without seeing the future, so stick around for that. Oh, and by the way, if you enjoy these kind of videos, please consider liking the video. That really would help me out big time, because the algorithm would bless this video, if you know what I mean. Okay, let's move on with some more examples. Here we can see that there is a sell signal right over here. So let's count back 3 candlesticks, 1, 2, 3, and let's see where the stochastic indicator was at this point. We can see that stochastic RSI at this point was in the oversold territory, so we don't want to enter a short position right here for this reason. And as you can see, if we were to enter a short position, and if we were to set our risk reward ratio to 2.5 again, we can see that this would not be a winning trade. And as you can see, the price action actually reversed and continued in the other direction, of course. But as I said, I would not take this trade because it goes against the strategy. Let's move on with some more examples. So right here we can see another short signal right over here. So let's count back 3 candlesticks, 1, 2, 3, and as you can see, the stochastic RSI for this particular candlestick is quite high, nearing the overbought zone, which is up here. So I would take this trade with a short. So let's do that. Opening a short, putting a stop loss at previous swing high, which is here, 0.22%. So that would be a small loss if trade went other way. And following the strategy, this would have been a winning trade. But as I said before, you don't have to be a professional to place trades on already printed out chart, right? So let's go back in time and try it without seeing the future, and let's see how profitable this strategy actually is over a couple of trades. Okay, I'm at random time and date of Ethereum's history, and as you can see there's a buy signal right here which was printed recently. Let's count back 3 candlesticks, 1, 2, 3, and as you can see we are close to overbought zone, so I'm not going to take this trade. Let's see how this plays out. So that trade would have been a losing trade, but it has some new signals printed on the chart, so let's test them out. Counting back from this one, 1, 2, 3. We are right at the middle of the stochastic RSI chart, so I would actually enter this trade, but since the candlesticks are already printed out for this, we're not going to enter the trade since we already know how it's going to go. So let's wait for some more indicators. So as you can see, we have a sell indicator right over here. So let's count back, 1, 2, 3. And we're too close to oversold zone for me to comfortably enter the trade. So we're skipping this sell signal as well. As you can see, we have another sell signal right over here. Counting back 3 candlesticks, 1, 2, 3. We're in the overbought zone, so this is where I would typically enter a short trade because we are way in the overbought zone. So let's open a short position now, right on this candlestick where we paused to make it fair. Stop loss at right about previous swing high this wick right here. Take profit, let's make it risk reward ratio of 2 just to stay safe. That seems kind of far out since this looks like to be uptrend. I'm going to adjust the risk to reward ratio to 1 to 5. Let's see how this plays out. Okay, this is the first winning trade of this backtest. As you can see, my mentality with checking these signals back with stock RSI chart right here is working out pretty well. We stopped ourselves from entering some pretty shitty trades and we actually found a good opportunity. So let's wait for some more indicators to get printed. So as you can see, we have a buy indicator printed just now here on the chart. So counting back 3 candlesticks, 1, 2, 3. We are right in the middle of the stochastic chart, but we have to take into consideration the movement of this graph. As you can see, is going down. So at this point it was going down to the oversold zone where the indicator was printed, so I would actually enter this trade with a long. So let's do that. I will again use the conservative risk to reward ratio. I'm going to set my take profit just below this resistance right here because it's unlikely that it will break through. And it's more likely that it will stay within this range. And if we want to make more winning trades, we have to take into consideration facts that are being thrown at us every second. So let's play it out and see how this plays out. Not looking so good so far, but it could still turn around. Oh, dangerously close, and we were stopped out of the trade. That's 1 to 1, 1 win, 1 lose. Let's wait for some more indicators to get printed. So as you can see, we have a buy indicator right here. So this is a kind of a tricky situation, and I will tell you why. We could guide ourselves by stochastic RSI chart and not enter the trade, but this does look like a reversal. Okay, we have crossed over the 50 EMA line, which means that an uptrend might be imminent, as well as we have broken out of this trend line right here. So in this instance, I would actually go ahead and ignore stochastic RSI and enter a long trade. So let's go ahead and do that, setting the stop loss below the 50 EMA, because if it goes back through, it might continue on a downtrend, and take profit will be with the risk reward ratio of 1.5. So let's see how this plays out. Okay, this would have been a winning trade, 2 wins, 1 loss so far. And guys, it pays to sometimes ignore the main strategy if there are more obvious facts that are thrown at you by the charts. In this instance, the price action broke through the 50 EMA line with some momentum, as well as this trend line right over here. So I went ahead and ignored stochastic RSI, because if I were to follow the strategy to the T, I wouldn't enter this trade. Okay, let's move on for another example. So we have another shorting signal right over here. So let's count back candlesticks 1, 2, 3, and stochastic RSI is close to oversold. So I would actually go ahead and ignore this trade, but that's not the only reason why I would ignore this trade. Look at all these wicks right over here on these candles and all these wicks on these candles. This to me signals that the market doesn't know which way it wants to go, so it played safe and skip this trade. So let's go ahead and see if it goes according to the indicator. The indicator actually got deleted and we got printed another sell indicator right here. And as you can see, sometimes it happens that it prints out a lot of indicators, and then you really have to scratch your head and try to figure out which ones you should take. And in this case, I would actually go ahead and try to figure out what's the current trend, which way the price is going, and guide myself based on that. But in this instance, this buy indicator, as you can see, this buy signal, this candlestick broke through trend line with quite some momentum. So I'd actually consider entering right here. So let's count back 1, 2, 3 and see where the stochastic RSI is. It's right in the middle of the stochastic RSI chart. So this I would consider to be a risky trade, but let's enter it nevertheless. Stop loss at previous swing low, take profit at 1 to 5. Let's play it safe and let's see how this goes. Okay, this would have been a winning trade as well. Currently we are 3 to 1, 3 wins, 1 loss. Not bad at all for this simple strategy, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I want to remind you, if you want to receive up to $4,000 in sign-up bonus, go ahead and sign up with Bybit with my link in description. Their sign-up bonuses are crazy on your first time deposits. Also, if you don't actually have any money to trade with, I highly recommend checking out second link in my description, which in detail describes how you can start $100 per day Twitter business. I'm actually doing it myself and it's extremely profitable and it fuels this trading addiction.